What's up, y'all? This is Daniel with Pride of the Southland Kennels. Just wanting to do an all-around update video. These are our chickens. As you can tell, getting a little bit older. Still no eggs yet, of course, but we're hoping to get some eggs sometime this summer. I can't remember exactly how old. I think most of these chickens are probably around 10, 11 weeks old. So maybe in the next 8-10 weeks start getting some eggs. But these are Bielefelders. As you can see, though, that's a rooster, that's a rooster. The rest of these are hens, same breed. They're an auto-sexing breed. If you look at the roosters, especially when they're young, they really resemble a barred rock. They still resemble them, but if you can see, they got that golden color to them. And when they get older, some of these roosters are really pretty. My parents raised them. That's where I got these from. They got one of their roosters that's got white tail feathers out of these Bielefelders, and they're just pretty birds. But again, I got them because they're a dual-purpose bird. Good layers, even during the colder months at times. They'll lay a little bit longer in the year, which is good. And these hens, my parents' hens are about the size of like a Rhode Island red rooster. A big Rhode Island red rooster. Some of the hens are huge of their Bielefelders. So that's that. We're gonna move on to the goats and the dogs. I give y'all an update on the breeding status and then what we got going on out there. All right, we're outside in the, used to call this a dog yard. I'm gonna call it the little farm area. We got ourselves about an acre here. Come on. I know a lot of people's interested in this. Well, a few people anyways are interested in this when they see a video pop up. This breeding did happen. We got 3 ties out of them. I'd have to go back and look at my calendar. I believe if everything takes, we should have pups around July the 19th. Don't mark my words on that. I don't know if that's exactly right, but I believe that's what I figured up. Now, still really early to tell. Come here, Iris. Come here. You'll see she'll come up to the fence here. Ain't really seeing a whole lot of visible change in her yet. Of course, that'll be the sire if it goes down. Here's our goats. Here's our goats here. They're chilling, they're growing, they're doing their thing. Come on, Sutton. Got my little road dog here with me. That's my partner in crime. She's turning out to be a pretty well-behaved dog. There's the goat. Still no Billy yet. I figured it out in my head anyways. You know, I'd like to get me a Billy around October, because I don't really want to have, which they're young, but girl, that fence is on. No, it's not on. Go down here and hit my fence charger. She's gonna have to learn, and she's about to learn right here on video. Yep, it got her, but she got in there with it. Now she's scared. See, that's why I don't have her in here. That's another thing, talking about this Premier One fence. This is a netting that I got for sheep and goats, and she's about to learn again. Let me cut that off and get her out here. That's part of the learning process. You know, I don't want her in there because she's young and I don't want her to be traumatized. I cut that off and we'll let her come out. Come here, girl. That's the thing though, that's why she ain't in here. She can get in and out of it. That's the other thing I was gonna mention with pygmy goats. When they're real young, she's out now. Come here, girl. Come here. When they're real young, they can get out of that. So if you're gonna raise pygmy goats and you're absolutely dead set on using this fence, I'd get the poultry netting. Poultry netting's probably a little bit more expensive, but the holes are smaller. I don't know what size they are, but this works once you get them trained up, but they can get out of it. So that's that. That's the breeding update. in the goat update. Garden's growing good with what we planted. Got some taters, beans, and tomato plants. Got some squash plants and stuff to plant today. That's that, and I'll take y'all to Neelan and Emery. And she's still a little bit, there she goes. She thought that I was after her on that fence, which I guess technically I did. I did turn it on, but not to be mean. I didn't want the other dogs touching that fence and them seeing that it didn't bite them. So I cut it on. Anyways, here's old man Neelan. Mother, daughter, that's Emery. She's bouncing back pretty good. Putting some weight back on, drawing up pretty good. I mean, I think that pup right there is about 12, 13 weeks old. There's the mother. She ain't all the way drew up, but she ain't far. May, just for the people that are asking, I've had a handful of people asking about when are we going to use Neelan for breeding again. Well, may take her to Emery. May take him to Emery, excuse me. That's the dog I just zoomed in on. But if not, if everything works out right, when that dog gets about 2 years old, the one in the front, the smaller one there's 3 generations. That's pretty cool how they was walking there. Grandpa, daughter, granddaughter. And yes, that would be a father-daughter breeding. Before anybody comments on that, just do your research on that. Yeah, it's not the best route to go, especially when you already have like an established breed and there's plenty of genetics out there in the gene pool. I'm not saying people ain't breeding for a reason, but I am, and I feel like the available dogs are going to behave the way that I want them to behave inside this quote-unquote American Bulldog breed. I'm very limited, so therefore I'm going to do close breedings, and when it comes time, I'm already looking for outcrosses, and I'm not going to need them for years, but I'm already looking for them because I don't know where I'm going to go. And that's just the truth. That's just how I am. I always like to stay a step ahead if I can. It don't always work that way, but I'm looking for an outcross, and I may have to sacrifice size. I may have to go outcross to a larger dog to get the temperament I want, but the temperament's most important. I'm not going to go to a dog that's small and doesn't behave the way I want it to behave. And we're going to hang around 5 dogs or so. The better my dogs behave, then that's what the number depends on. The better the dogs are around all these other animals, the more I can have. I'm not going to go over 5 or 6. But I'm just saying, you know, right now my dogs, the lineup that I got, they're not perfect. As you can see, these dogs are being pretty calm right now. This is not put on for video purposes. This is how they actually act. Are they perfect? No, I won't never claim they are. There's still things. Am I where I want to be on my farm line of dogs? And no, I'm not. But the dogs that I produce, and I don't know, I'm going to say this, I don't know that it's just because I'm producing them, but what I think plays a heavy role in the dogs that I produce and keep off my breedings behaving the way that I want them to behave, or at least heading in the right direction, is they're seeing me from day one. Well, once they open their eyes, they're seeing me. I'm handling them. A lot of people claim not to handle the dogs too much or the pups too much. I'm handling them as soon as I can. They may not be able to see on day one, but I want them to smell me and see me as soon as they can. I've had good luck with it. Not the best luck. I mean, these dogs ain't perfect. Teleco, as far as a goat dog, couldn't ask for a better dog, I don't think. I ain't seen one yet. He's the best that I've seen for me, for the American Bulldogs. He's more of a weekend warrior. I'll be honest on that. When I go to work, I don't want anything going off the rails, so he stays in his kennel. In the evenings he's out. On the weekends, that gate stays open all weekend. The goats will run in and out of his kennel. Eventually, we're going to start rotating this fence. That's what that kind of fence is for. I will be moving him away from his kennel. Kennel's on high ground for a reason. When that happens, he'll just have to go in there with the goats full time, and I'll have to trust him. He's never got out of this fence. He has the most experience inside this fence, and I've never seen him get out. Even when the other herd of goats that we had would get out, he would stay in the fence. So I don't think I got to worry about that. But anyways, back to the dogs, you know, behaving the way I want them to behave. Iris has been good around chickens. As you can see, she's in here with goats right now. She could be in here all day with goats. But at some time of some days, whether it be she's been in here with them for 12 hours, she's been in here with them for 2 hours, or she stayed overnight with them and woke up the next morning and decides to run them, she's gonna do that. When she's with Teleco, when she's by herself, she's fine. I want a pair of dogs. If I could have 2 of my 5 dogs paired up with the goats at all times, that helps me out a lot. Nealon's an all-around dog. He don't go in a kennel. He just stays out and runs. That would be 3 dogs taken care of with quote-unquote jobs, I guess you could say. And I know I've done said that in that video, or in this video, and people are gonna give me crap about it. But anyways, you know, Nealon has his job. He's just an all-around dog. He can stay in between the goats and the chickens. Don't really want him directly having contact with the animals, because he's been used so much to put the animals back up to where they need to go when they get out. And that's his mentality. He'll start running circles around them, and he'll just stress them out and run himself to death. Emery is a dog that's good with chickens. She's not good with goats. She's just not. I put her in there with goats, she's gonna try to get them. Well, she ain't gonna try, she has. So I don't put her with goats. She's done well with chickens in the past, but we took a break from chickens. I just let her see the chickens through the coop the other day. She did okay. She acted a little bit different than what I was used to her acting before. I could put her out there with the chickens and she would never even pay them any mind. But she was alert, and she showed body language that tells me she might try to get the chickens. So she's gonna have to come around a little bit better in that aspect, or when we get hogs, she'll just have to be a dog that hopefully we don't have to use if a hog gets out. But she'll just be a dog that if, you know, the hogs get out, she'll be kind of like Nealon, but she's a little bit more feisty than Nealon. I don't care what nobody says. I think that's a pretty little pup right there. She'll just be a dog that roams the fence line. She does good at doing that, and she's on hog duty if one of them gets out. And I'm gonna build my hog pen here shortly in the next little bit, and I'm gonna build it to where they can't get out, but still need that lifeline if you do need it. She's a little bit, she thinks that I zapped her on that fence, but look right here. Sorry about that dirt, that's not my property, but I wanted to zoom in to show you Nealon Teleco, excuse me. He's up there. He can go right up to the goats now. The goats will come into his kennel and drink right out of the same water bucket. He's back up to where he wanted to, or back up to where he used to be. I'm about to end this video because the wind is picking up. That's one reason why I haven't put out a lot of videos here lately. It's just been so windy. For those of y'all that's followed the channel, you can see how far we've come with this little particular group of goats and the dogs. Both of them, the Dogs can go right up there to the goats, and the goats don't mind it. The dogs don't really pay many mind. They do, but they don't. You know, they're not focused on them 100% of the time. If something comes up to that fence, though, I did get to see that the other day. The neighbor and his dog came up and was spraying their fence line, because that fence is about 10 foot off the property line, so they come right up to it. They were spraying their property line where their markers are at, and had the dog with them. They wasn't having that one bit. Haven't seen a coyote on the property in a while. I think that's due to the dogs being out here. They used to come right up to the house. I've seen them 15, 20 feet from my front porch, but I ain't had that problem in a while. They may be on the back side of the property. We did a bunch of clearing. That used to be pretty much not really woods, but it was old nursery stock back there, and there was thousands of trees on the back side of the property. We got that all cleared off, so they don't have no cover. They're out in the open, so we don't see them as much, but it's still good to have those dogs. The biggest thing we got to worry about is stray dogs, and then coyotes if they decide to get brave, which I've been seeing them out in the daytime. So anyways, that's just a little bit of a long-winded video, but it's a good update of what's going on out here. I wanted to share with everybody, and like I said, that breeding, we'll know something in the next few weeks, so y'all stay tuned. This is Daniel with Pride of the Southland Kennels. Thank y'all for watching.